Second time's a charm. Demolition teams finally implode Detroit Lions' legendary Silverdome into a cloud of dust after embarrassing fail the first time. Demolition teams have finally imploded Detroit Lions' world-famous Silverdome into a cloud of dust just one day after an embarrassing first attempt. On Sunday, a partial implosion of the Pontiac Silverdome failed to bring down the upper section of the NFL side's former home. But it seems the second time was a charm because demolition company Adamo were able to bring down the upper section of the 80,000 all-seater stadium on Monday. Company officials said wiring issues were the culprit of yesterday's failed attempt, which disappointed thousands of onlookers who'd braved cold temperatures in hopes of seeing a dramatic collapse. By 4:05 p.m. on Monday an ear-rattling boom sounded and the black metal exterior of the upper bowl disappeared into a cloud of dust. It exposed the concrete innards of the stadium which remained standing. The second explosion, announced less than 30 minutes before detonation, left tardy gawkers disappointed they didn't get to see it. A handful of curious onlookers pulled off M59 south of the stadium to hold up camera phones in the moments leading up to the blast. Closer to the stadium, others ran toward the fence surrounding the property hoping to shoot photos and videos. Chrissy Klassen, 39, of Auburn Hills, arrived moments after the blast and said, "I'm super bummed." January 24, 1982, 49ers win Super Bowl. The Super Bowl came north to the Detroit area, and although the game is remembered largely for the snow and the traffic, it was also the first championship for Joe Montana and Bill Walsh. San Francisco beat Cincinnati 26-21. March 29, 1987. WrestleMania. A crowd of 93,173 was on hand for WrestleMania 3, with Hulk Hogan taking on Andre the Giant in the main event. Aretha Franklin sang "America the Beautiful" and Bob Booker was a guest ring announcer. September 19, 1987, the Pope visits. Pope John Paul II ended his U.S. tour in the Detroit area, and Vice President George Bush was part of a full house at the Silverdome for Mass. More than 90,000 people were on hand. January 29, 1988, NBA record: the Pistons beat the Boston Celtics 125-108 in front of 61,983, an NBA attendance record that stood for more than a decade. Detroit would go on to make the NBA Finals that season, the team's last at the Silverdome before moving to the Palace of Auburn Hills. January 5, 1992. Lions' lone playoff victory since 1957. Eric Kramer threw for 341 yards and 3 touchdowns to lead the Lions over the Dallas Cowboys 38-6 in what is still the franchise's lone playoff victory since winning the NFL title in 1957. Barry Sanders got into the act as well with a 47-yard touchdown run late in the game. June 18, 1994. Soccer under the roof. In the first World Cup soccer match played inside a dome, the United States and Switzerland played to a 1-1 draw in hot, humid conditions. In their first game as World Cup hosts, the Americans fell behind before Eric Wijnaldum tied it on a free kick. December 21, 1997, Barry and Reggie Sanders surpassed 2,000 yards rushing for the season, and the Lions wrapped up a playoff berth with a 13-10 victory over the New York Jets. But Detroit's regular season finale took a frightening turn when Lions linebacker Reggie Brown was taken off the field in an ambulance with a severe neck injury. Chrissy grew up a quarter-mile away and spent her childhood watching the Detroit Lions practice at the outdoor facility that once graced the Silverdome grounds. She said, "I've got a ton of memories here." St. Louis, 39, of Shelby Township, brought a drone to photograph the implosion, but arrived too late to capture the big event. He said, "I was hoping to shoot it." Dave Demopoulos, 40, of Mount Clemens, felt cheated as well and said, "I am disappointed since I was out here from about 6 a.m. until 9 yesterday." The Lions played at the suburban Detroit facility from 1975 through 2001. The Silverdome also was the home of the NBA's Detroit Pistons and hosted the Super Bowl in 1982. During its lifetime, the indoor stadium also hosted Super Bowl XVII, WrestleMania 3, a visit by Pope John Paul II and various motorsport events.